Hello everyone. My name is Seiko. I'm a psychotherapist based in New Zealand, and I'm a lifelong practitioner of Buddhism. I'm really excited to start YouTube because I always wanted to share what I have learned through practicing psychotherapy and Buddhism, because the two practices have changed my life completely and fundamentally. What I have learned from both practices is that most important thing for achieving fundamental happiness is being true to yourself. You being yourself is the most powerful thing and the most beautiful thing in life. What does it mean to be you? This has been the biggest theme in my life, especially since I came to New Zealand 17 years ago. So I'd like to talk a little bit about my experience as an immigrant. So I came here, New Zealand, by myself 17 years ago. When I was young, I always dreamed about living overseas. And I had a job opportunity that brought me to New Zealand. So in a way, I fulfilled my dream, but I had no idea that living overseas would entail such painful challenges. I was overwhelmed with my cultural differences and language barriers. I was not able to understand what people were saying, and as a result, I'm not able to express myself freely because I don't understand what people are talking about. So these difficulties led me to inferiority complex. My limitations in this country made me feel alienated and incompetent. I despised my differences. And I had learned to cover up my inadequacy by not speaking out. I really struggled with my reduced sense of self. My personal life was also challenging because my partner already had 3 children from his previous marriage, and I often felt there was no room for me in his family. My sense of being left out and my sense of being unimportant was so painful. My resentment towards him grew exhausting. These experiences finally forced me to delve into what it really meant to be me in this country. Both psychotherapy training and the Buddhist practice helped me gradually become aware of the shame and the fear that I was covering up. And I arrived at a most profound revelation, and that is vulnerability is an opening into Buddhahood. My vulnerability, such as my feelings of being weak or hurt or insecure or upset or unworthy or feeling discouraged, those feelings. And in Nichiren Buddhism, vulnerability can be seen as fundamental darkness. Fundamental darkness is our inability or our inner negative workings that prevent us from recognizing our Buddhahood. I used to see my vulnerability or fundamental darkness as an enemy against my happiness. So I had long believed that if I get rid of my vulnerability or negative things in my life, I would become happy. But through practicing psychotherapy and Nichiren Buddhism, I came to realize that those problems or emotional difficulties that I believed was the cause of suffering are not actually the true cause of suffering. True cause of suffering is the pain of not being able to be ourselves. I was really, really surprised to find this truth. So let's think about, why does our life go wrong when we are not true to ourselves? I want to tell you two things. One thing is that suppressing our true feelings is equivalent to belittling ourselves. Our feelings, those vulnerable feelings, we tend to push away, criticize, or ignore our negative feelings. But vulnerability also represents our true self as much as any other feelings. So when we belittle our true self and judge ourselves for that, nothing will work for the better, no matter how much we make effort. So that's one thing. And another reason, which I think is really important to understand, is that when there are parts of us that are difficult for us to accept, we are unaware of acting out and damaging our relationships with other people, as well as relationship with ourselves. For example, when you feel lonely and deep down, you wanted to feel loved, but you don't want to acknowledge your loneliness, or it's too much to accept it. So you might instead get angry at your partner or somebody that make you feel that way, or blame him or her for causing you to be so unhappy. So this is called acting out. And we all know that angry blaming never helps us, right? And yet, because of our inability to accept our vulnerability, our feelings come out sideways in a very unhealthy way. Both psychotherapy and Nichiren Buddhism convey the same message, that is, acceptance of all of ourselves, especially acceptance of our vulnerability, is crucial to our fundamental happiness. Vulnerability, in fact, an opening into Buddhahood, the best and most beautiful part of us. Vulnerability is an opening into the best and most beautiful part of us. We all want to live true to ourselves, and yet it is just sometimes so difficult when there are parts of us that are difficult to accept or conflicting. And it is not only emotional pain that is difficult to accept, but our greatness, our potential is also really difficult to accept. It's scary. So the question is, how can we be all of ourselves? My passion is to make the practice of being true to yourself accessible to everyone as a life skill. So it's my hope that this my YouTube channel helps you ponder what it means to be you and feel inspired to be true to yourself. So see you again. I'm looking forward to starting amazing journey with you. Bye bye.